I'm Emma.
And this is Fanimated, an animation fan podcast where we get a chance to geek out about our favorite animated media. And if you could see me now, I always do these big hand gestures when I do the intro. Because I'm getting my energy levels up and ready to geek out about all of this awesome stuff we want to nerd out about.
Oh, totally.
Emma, I am just laughing at myself right now because Emma and I live together currently, and we haven't seen each other kind of in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's insane.
And we're like, the only time we have to talk to each other is this 30 minutes to record. But instead of catching up about our personal lives, we're going to catch up about what we've been watching recently and or playing recently. Summer you'd think would be a little less busy, but it's not for us.
Nope. Never a dull day around here.
Never. One of these days, we will finish our Fruits Basket rewatch.
Yes, it's happening, folks.
When we have time to do it, it's happening. It's happening. Okay, so we're gonna blaze through this because it's really hot out right now, and we have the AC turned off because the AC is very loud.
Survival mode.
Survival mode activated. So with all that said, Emma, what have you been watching recently?
I'm so glad you asked, Kelly, because I have been introduced to this concept called summer. Oh. And though it is busy, I find that during the day, like, all my friends are, like, working their jobs. So I'm like, what do I do with all this time, right? Well, let me tell you, I finally, through I think it took me, like, a year and a half, I would say, I finally finished Inuyasha.
Oh my goodness.
And it was, honestly, everything I needed. You can always ask for more at the end of a season, but, I got a kiss from Kagome and Inuyasha, and that, sold it for me, so.
Oh, stop it!
But this last year and a half, 2 years, I was working through the main series and watching the movies in order as well, and then just this last year got into Inuyasha the Final Act, which is the last season. And it just feels so good to finally have gotten through it because I had been working on it so long. But even up until the end, I really love this show. There's phases where it's just like, okay, we're in the same cycle over and over again. You get in those lulls. Even Fairy Tail has some of those moments. But when you get invested into it and you're just there and present, it's just so much fun, and it's just really dramatic and emotional at the end, and you're like, my characters, I love you all. I'm so happy for your lives. And you get to see, they do a little time jump, and so you get to see their lives in the future. Good. And it's super wonderful. And I guess the only complaint I have is, like a lot of shonens, there's not a lot of death, and it sounds terrible to wish for death. but sometimes you're just like, okay, I need some sort of consequence. Somebody has to die so I can have, hope that we're going to still keep pushing forward or whatever. But other than that, it was so much fun.
Yeah, that's so good to hear. I've watched maybe half of Inuyasha, and the characters are just so amazing and lovable.
Yes.
And that's what's great about it. And I don't think it's bad to wish for death. Weird as that sounds. Having true consequences, like you said, raising the stakes, making things, it's frustrating when you go through a show. Honestly, Sword Art Online is the best example for me. Because the stakes are really, really high at the beginning. You die in the game, you die in real life, and those stakes are, shown as consequences. And the further you get along, the further you realize that all of the characters are completely immune to the consequences laid out. And so, I think it's valid to be let's have some true consequences, some true stakes in the game here. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed Inuyasha. And not every show needs to have dire stakes or anything. Yes. But
Love my angsty boy, and his emotional growth is just, beautiful.
Yes. Best.
So that's the biggest thing that I've been watching besides I'm staying up to date with Komi Can't Communicate, our most adorable show ever.
Oh my gosh, it's seriously the best.
That show gives me life, like kind of like Horimiya when it was coming out. Like, it's just so, like, it's just food for the soul. You're just like, oh, like, these characters are so cute.
It is there doesn't need to be any stakes in this show. It's just wholesome goodness, and I'm just enjoying this beautiful piece of cake right now. Like,
yes. And that's all I want and all I need at the end of a long day.
Exactly. Oh, it's so hilarious.
Yes. And I really love the introduction of the newer characters. It's kind of my jam. Like, I don't, no spoilers here, but
there's
like
a new character that is like the antithesis of Emma's favorite type of character. And I'm like, yes, this is happening.
Oh my gosh, the drama. It's so good.
Drama, the angst is there.
I'm like, I am here for this new character. He is my favorite.
Like, this is Emma's child. I see it.
Literally. This is my child. I love it so much.
Yep.
So that's been wonderful, of course. The other thing I have to note on is something that I've been playing. So me and Kelly are a fan of the Nintendo Switch games, and recently my fiance introduced me to this game called Ori and the Blind Forest. And this last weekend we defeated the game at like 12:30 at night. It's fine. But it was so much fun. Like, the beginning of it was really hard for me just because I'm not used to playing platform games, and so it was very much out of my wheelhouse, and I had to really learn some fine motor skills, which I did, and when I got the hang of it, it made it super fun. But this game is just, Kelly, you need to play it. It's so gorgeous. All the animation is painted, and so it's just every different area is just so breathtaking, and then the music, the score that goes underneath each area is also just beautiful and really just sets the mood, like whether you're in the misty woods or you're in the swamp or you're at the spirit tree. Like, it's just so like everything is about ambiance and atmosphere. And your main character, Ori, she's just so cute. She's like this spirit animal that's kind of looks like a fox, I guess. But she's like pure white and super cute. And it's a surprisingly moving story. Like, there's not a huge amount of story, but there's enough to know like who the main enemy is. And then at the end, you realize why the enemy is so hurt. And it was just like a beautiful wrap up. And so now I'm playing Ori Will of the Wisps, which is the second one, and at the end of the first one, like, this family was created from a bunch of misfits, and now that family is growing and there's some chaos that happens to separate them. So I'm just really excited to keep exploring this world that I love. It's another part of the world, but it is, like I said, it's just so breathtaking. Like, I just want to just climb around with no mission because it's just so beautiful to look at. One thing that I will say that was kind of a shock to me is this game brought out the completionist in me. So instead of just like going the direct route that I usually do, I spent so much time exploring all these little nooks and crannies and trying to get 100% in each area. So I like went through everything and I was like, who have I become? Like, this is not my style.
This is not the Emma I know. What?
And I mean, to be fair, part of that was because my fiance, he wanted to watch me like play the story parts. So when he wasn't around, I was like, well, I'll just do all the exploration. And then I got really addicted to like doing all that exploration because it was super fun and like just being able to see all the different nooks and crannies. So anyway, I just thought it was funny because it's totally not how I usually play a game.
A new era in Emma's gaming career.
It's true. It's true. I don't know if I'm ready for it, but
I mean, just watching you play that game, it just looks gorgeous. It really does.
It is, yes.
Although, also watching you play that game, I'm like, do I want to torture myself trying to get through some of those levels?
It does feel like torture at the beginning, I will say that. But once you get the hang of it, man, it is so fun.
Yeah. I'll have to add that to my list.
Yes.
Yes.
Kelly, what have you been watching?
Well, speaking of games and death...
Oh, wow, what a transition.
This is the death episode, everybody. I've been playing Spiritfarer.
Oh.
So this is a game that I'm playing on Switch. It was on sale, and I was like, you know what? Let's go for it. I've been playing Stardew for months. And
Same.
And Stardew was great, don't get me wrong. I'll go back to it, of course, I always do. But I was ready for something new, something fresh. And Spiritfarer has always been on my list since it came out. And the basic premise is that you are the Spiritfarer. You basically operate this ferry, this boat, that brings spirits to the afterworld. And so it's a management game where you like have a little garden and you have a kitchen and you're like making all the food for your passengers, and you're running errands for them or helping them kind of like fulfill their final requests basically before they die. And it is like, I know it's about dying, and so there's definitely sad sometimes, but it's also just the most chill, relaxing game. Because you're just like playing your guitar, or you're like, feeding the sheep, or I don't know, you're just hanging out. And like there are all these little mini games that are kind of like platformer things, but none of them feel like high anxiety. There's no problem if you fall down. There's no like need to like get a certain time or amount or level or whatever. It's just like you're just enjoying the world and the characters and like your little things that you do, and you're exploring this map on your little ship. And it's just like it's so, I would just sit there and fish forever and like watch the beautiful sunsets, and like it's just so fun, and like I'm really enjoying it, and the story is really sweet, and there's a lot of thought put into all of the different characters that you interact with, and so, yeah, I'm just really, really, really enjoying it.
It sounds like a comfort food video game. Like, you just, like, look forward to it every day.
Yes, that's what it is. It's absolute comfort food. It's just enjoyable. You're just exploring, and there's no pressure about anything.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
It's so good.
Have you cried yet?
Yes. Oh, 100%, yeah. Be prepared if you go into that game. Bring your tissues. And let me know how it goes for you. So, they've been thoroughly enjoying that, for sure. I also, of course, have been watching all the anime that I've already talked about in a previous Whatcha Watchin', so I won't go down that rabbit hole besides, agreeing with Komi Can't Communicate. Honestly, Komi Can't Communicate and Spy X Family are the two winners of this season for me, even above Kaguya-sama Love is War.
Oh, wow.
But it's Spy X Family and Komi that I keep coming back to, like, every single week. I'm like, these are the ones I have to make sure I watch.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, they're both just comfort anime that are wholesome and wonderful, and the characters, I love them all so much.
I've definitely got Spy Family on my list to watch.
Good.
So.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna love it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I don't know. And then the other thing I'll circle back around to is, just because I have to, I'm just in the mindset. The Owl House season 2.
Did not see this coming. Nope.
What? Me talking about the Owl House? I mean, season 2 has officially ended. And we only have one season left, which is only going to be like 3 longer episodes. So we're really, really at the end here. And of course, no spoilers on Whatcha Watchins, but like, I am continuously amazed by how well that they're able to like maintain speaking of stakes, like maintain the urgency of which the story takes place, and like continuously developing characters. And they develop like all characters, not just the protagonists and main characters, but like side characters you didn't even think about. They have a story, and it's just like it all builds so well around each other. And like I am just over the moon excited about this show, and completely just in love with this crazy, wild, creepy, weird world. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Like I love these characters so deeply. I have adopted them all, and I just need them all to be happy.
Are your theories in your head going crazy right now?
Oh my goodness. This show has gotten me back into Tumblr, and I had been off Tumblr for a very long time, but Tumblr is my fan theory haven, okay? And like, I am so grateful for the Owl House fandom that is like, just sifting through every screenshot and like putting together all of the like Wittebane brothers timelines and all of this stuff that like I'm just like soaking it all in, and I'm just like theorizing like mad. And I mean, I feel like I've said this about many episodes of the Owl House, but like this season finale completely changed the game again. And it's just like, ooh. And I have high hopes. The Owl House team, I have a lot of faith and trust in them to complete this series well. And I have said that before and been disappointed. But I'm really, really hoping that, they're going to do great. And they're going to end the series in a really great way. And I'm honestly, I'm kind of grateful for the hiatus time. I'm not gonna lie, because like this is the time where the fandom gets to theorize and gets to like make up their own stories about what's gonna happen or what's going on, and that's what I love. That's like half of the reason why I love these shows so much is the fandoms and like what the fandoms create, and this like weird camaraderie of obsession with other people. And it's just it's fun. It's always fun to be a part of that as it's happening. And so like I'm as much as I want to know what happens next, I'm really gonna enjoy this hiatus time online and seeing what the fandom creates and thinks up. It's already been like so fruitful of a time online right now, and it's just like we probably have months and months to go, so it's great. If you love the Owl House too, please let me know what you're thinking. What are your theories? What do you think? Okay. Yeah, I'm obsessed, and I love being obsessed.
Yeah, and having that hiatus will probably make the hype even more intense for when it finally does come out. So that's always fun.
Exactly. And I've said this before, and I'll say it a million more times. It's so great having something to look forward to.
Yes.
And like, I haven't had that in a long time, really. And so I'm really, really grateful for the Owl House to have something really exciting to look forward to, and really being into a fan base like this. Like, honestly, the last How to Train Your Dragon movie was probably the last time I was like this deep into like the Tumblr hype.
Sure.
And it's just really fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
All about it.
All about it. I was also going to mention Bubbles, the anime movie on Netflix, but it honestly wasn't amazing. It wasn't.
I think I saw the preview for that, but I didn't actually watch it. I keep thinking of words bubble up like soda pop, but that's something different.
Yeah, that's something different. No, I'll just mention that I did watch it, and like it's, I probably won't rewatch it. There's some really cool moments in it. Some good music and everything, but yeah, I don't know. It wasn't my favorite, personal favorite, but I've heard a lot of people really like it too. So yeah,
cool.
Just another movie though. If you're looking for another anime movie, something new, so check it out. Yeah. Speaking of things we're looking forward to, are there any movies that are coming out or TV shows that you're looking forward to? Is there anything on the horizon for you?
Nothing really on the horizon, so to speak. For me, it's more about catch-up. Like, I feel like this summer is a lot about, like, okay, we've been watching these shows, but let's actually, like, finish these shows or dive deep into them. Like, during my workouts, I watch Bungo Stray Dogs, and I want to watch more of that. Or I've been... I just started watching Kaguya-sama Love is War. Love it. I'll only seen the first episode of the next season, so not too far in, obviously, but excited to get into that more. I just would love to not only finish up some of these anime that I've just been kind of going at slowly because school year and teacher life, but there are some that, like, I've really been wanting to rewatch. Like, I really want to rewatch Beyond the Boundary.
Oh, yes.
It's just been on my mind lately, and I'm like, wow, that was so beautiful. I just want to watch that again.
So good.
Or, like, I'm just like, man, I haven't had, like, a good dramatic romance in a long time. Like, kind of the vibe of Silent Voice or Your Lie in April, like something along that kind of theme. I would love to invest in again. So listeners, if you have any great suggestions, you're welcome to throw them our way, because that's something that I've been craving lately. I'm just like, I need a dramatic romance again. So that's kind of what's on the horizon for me, is just catch up and a little exploration. Oh, and Spy Family. That's on the list, yes.
Spy X Family. I'm telling you, and I cannot express how absolutely perfect that show is. Like, it is... The characters are absolutely perfect. And just, like, putting them all together, they're even more perfect. Like, it's like they are more than the sum of their parts. Like, this family is so... Okay, for those of you who don't know and haven't heard us talk about it, I'm going into Spy Family. You're welcome. Basically, this spy, Lloyd, needs to basically prevent a war. In order to do that, he needs to get in contact with this guy who never shows his face. So the way he's going to do that is go to the only social event he ever goes to, which is his son's school activities. So in order to do that, our spy needs a family.
Oh my gosh,
a child to send to the school, okay? That's the entire premise. And so he winds up with an adoptive daughter who can read minds.
Oh my.
And a wife who is secretly an assassin.
That sounds pretty epic, not gonna lie.
And so but of course all three of them are just so over the top and ridiculous, and you put them together and they're just like the perfect family. And it's all a ruse, but of course it's not a ruse, because they love each other. It's so cute. I'm dying.
So cute.
Oh my goodness. And of course, like Anya is the daughter, and they're trying to get her into this school, and they're trying to get her to like achieve all these things for world peace or whatever, but it's really just like normal things. But the stakes are really high,
Yeah.
But it's also like super chill. You know what I mean? Because, like, yes, it's like we're preventing a war, but it's actually, like, a very chill show, and everything's going to be fine. It's not really about the war. That's just the premise to make all of this shenanigans happen. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, it's not a true, like, we're worried about this. It's like this is our excuse to put a spy family together.
Right.
And it's so wholesome and good. And Aww. Anya is literally the most precious being ever. Like, I can't wait to do a top 10 best girls, best anime
yes,
girls.
Which we need to do.
We need to do. That's the next thing on our list, But Anya is going to be up there for sure, hands down, not even a question.
Cute.
So there's my little spiel on Spy Family.
Well, I can't wait to watch it because you've been talking about it, and I've had it on my list forever, so.
So good, y'all. And I will also note, while we're kind of wrapping up here, that you might have noticed that there are ads in this episode. So I am doing an experiment. I'm adding ads to the show to just kind of see what that looks like for Fanimated. If you want more information on that, you can go to patreon.com/Fanimated, become a patron, and you have access to a vlog I just posted that goes down through all of the details about Fanimated and the ads and what that revenue looks like, what the numbers are for that. I'm very open with my patrons. But of course, because of my patrons, thank you, I don't necessarily need to have ads because this podcast is self-sufficient. Thank you again. Again, if you want to be a part of making this podcast happen, patreon.com/Fanimated. That is the best thing you can do for keeping the show on air. For as little as $1 a month, people, it's great. But I did want, Buzzsprout just opened an opportunity to have ads on the platform, and it's really easy, so I figured I'm going to go ahead and try it just for a couple months and see how it goes. If you have any feedback on it, I would love to hear it, so you can email us at fanimatedpodcast@gmail.com. If you're listening and you're like, oh, I absolutely cannot stand ads, please get rid of them. Or if you're like, I don't mind them, it's fine. Feel free to email. I'm really open to those suggestions, as this is, again, just testing the water, seeing how it goes. So thanks for listening to or skipping through a couple of ads this episode and for some future ones. But with all of that said, thank you so much for listening. You're awesome. It's summer. Have a good, a good time out there. Stay safe. It's really hot where we're at, so make sure you're staying hydrated. Okay? You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Fanimated Podcast to stay up to date with all things animated. And don't forget to leave us a rating and review. That really helps us out and helps more people find the podcast. The music is written by Jamie Krause, and the art is done by myself. My Instagram is CandorDraw. And thank you, Emma, for joining me today and for actually being able to sit down and see you.
Yes, I'm happy to talk with you always, but it's especially nice to see you since it's been a while.
Yes, this is great. We'll be back in a couple of weeks as always. So in the meantime, stay tuned
and stay animated. One romance, dramatic romance that I have to watch this summer is the Violet Evergarden movie that I haven't watched yet.
Oh my goodness, yeah. That's what you need to watch.
Because I'm caught up on everything with that except for that last movie.
Oh no. Yeah, that will hit the nail on the head. And you've watched Romeo x Juliet before.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you watched that one I recommended. Shout out, I think that was Leandra who originally recommended it to me, so shout out, you're amazing. I love that show. We need to talk about that one. Emma and I have a very long list of shows we need to talk about on the podcast.
This is true.
So that's how it goes.